Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Ramani Online Mathematics. Now we are going to look at examples under the triangles. You have learned the properties of triangle, types of triangles. So you're going to apply them in these examples. Now first example, find the value of angles X, Y, and Z in the figure below. So this is the figure. So you want to find the values in this figure. Is that okay? So now let's start. This particular figure, if you want to solve it, you have to redraw it, okay? So you want to find the value of y, z, and x. How do I find that values? Now considering triangle, so you want to consider triangle AB. Oh, I didn't label them. Here will be A, here will be D. So I want to consider triangle CAD. You know it's a triangle. Have you seen that? I hope you can see that. CAD is a triangle. Is that okay? You consider that triangle. You can see that line AD is equals to line AC. Why? Because of this thing that they are putting there. So this is 2, this is also 2 lines, telling you that this line and that line are the same. If this and that line are the same, meaning is that the triangle is what? An isosceles triangle. And we said that for an isosceles triangle, the base angles are what? Equal. So let's say, assume that here is n. Let's represent it by any letter. If this side is n, it means that z is equals to what? N. Because we said that an isosceles triangle, the base angles are equal. Is that okay? So we are saying that this and that are equal. Why? Because they are isosceles triangle. So it's not always that the base will be down, depending the shape, how the shape has been drawn. Is that okay? So now let's start with it. So if this is equals to that, then we also consider the angle here. We know that the sum of interior angle of a triangle sum up to what? 180 degrees. The sum of interior angles, so 1, 2, 3, if I sum them, it will be 180 degrees. So I have z plus n, this one, plus 135 degrees equals 180 degrees. Is that okay? And already we know that z and n are the same. So in place of n, or in place of z, I can replace by any of them. Is that okay? So z plus z. So in place of n, I can also write it as z plus 135 equals 180 degrees. So this will give us 2z equals 180 minus 135. So 2z equals, subtract 5 from this, we have 5. 3 from this, we have 45. Dividing both sides by 2, we have our z to be equals to 22.5. So that becomes our z. So this is achieved. Now, since we have our z to be 22.5, it means that our n to be 22.5, because we are saying that z is equals to what? N. Alright. Now if you look at this one too, this is angle on a straight line. So I know that n plus x will be equals to 180. State the reason. Angle on a straight line sum up to 180 degrees. But my n is 2.5 plus x equals 180 degrees. So looking at this, my x is going to give me 180 degrees minus 2.5. So x will be what? So we have our x to be 157.5 degrees. So there's our x. Now after getting our x, the last one that we have to look for is y. Where can we find y? Here. Have you seen it? So y, before you can search for y, we need to consider the triangle BCA. So we consider triangle BCA. And there's another line telling you that this triangle too is what? An isosceles triangle. So if I represent this side by K, okay, it means that this and that are the same. Can you see that? Y and K are the same because you say that for isosceles triangle, the base angles are what? Equal. So, but before that, you need to search for this K first. Once you get a K, then you can get what? Y. And this K and this 135 are on a straight line. I hope you can see that. The K and the 135 are on a straight line. And know that angle on a straight line sum up to what? 180. So we can say that K plus 135 is equals to 180 degrees. I hope you can see that. So it means that my K will be equals to 180 degrees minus 135 degrees. Is that okay? So now if you subtract 135 from 180, what are you getting? 45, right? Okay. So you are getting 45 degrees here. Now, we are saying that y is equals to k. Why are you saying that? Because this and that, the triangle there is an isosceles triangle, and for isosceles triangle, the base angles are the same. Therefore, my y is also equals to 45 degrees. So, we have also solved for y. And I hope this is very simple. So when the question is given to you, the best thing to know is the properties. If you know the properties, then the rest will be very simple for you to solve. Now let's look at example number 2. Alright, so now let's look at example number 2. Find the value of the angle marked x in the diagram below. So we want to find the value of the angle marked what? X. So this is the angle you want to find, okay? This line is parallel to this line. It tells you that this lines here, line AE and line AB, are transverse lines. Is that okay? So, before we can find this, we have to do a lot of things here. First, and this angle, this one is equals to that. So this is equals to that. That's why you are putting this there. So it means that triangle ADC is what? An isosceles triangle. Okay. Now looking at this, if we are saying that ADC is an isosceles triangle, then if I place here by A, it means that this side too will be A. Because you say that isosceles triangle, the base angles are what? Equal. Now let's find the value of A and see something. So I'll have 55 degrees plus A equals to 180 degrees. You know the reason. This is a triangle, so the interior angle there, the sum of it will be 180. So this side is giving us 2A is equals to 180 minus 55 degrees. Is that okay? So if you subtract this from this, you are going to have 2A equals to 125, right? So my A will be 125 degrees divided by 2, because the Bible says by that, meaning that our A will be our A will be 62.5. So now we know our A. Now let's say that this side is B. Let's name here B. The angle here, let's name it B. Now there's a property. Since this line is a transverse line, line AB is a transverse, and BE and DC are parallel lines, then we can say that A and B are equal. What property is that? A is equals to B. And the property is what? Corresponding angles are equal. Is that okay? So B is equals to A. And it means that already our A is 62.5. It means that B will be also 62.5. So now that we know our B, we can find what? X. How do you get X? We said that B plus X will be 180 degrees. What is the reason? Angle on a straight line sum up to what? 180 degrees. So you can see that here, the angle on a straight line here is X and what? B. So if I add them, how to get 180? But already my B is 62.5. So I have 62.5 plus X, which is equal to 180 degrees. So my X will be 180 degrees minus 62.5. Is that okay? So when you subtract there, then you have your X to be 117.5 degrees. That is it. That's our X. Easy. Very easy. So what we have to be able to identify is that this line and that line is parallel, and these two lines are transverse line. So it means that this B is corresponding to A, and since this is an isosceles, then here and here are the same. Simple as that. Now let's look at our last example for this topic. Last example for the angles or the triangles. Let's look at that. Alright, so now let's look at this example. In the diagram below, line AE is equal to line ED is equal to DC equals to CE. So this is equal to that, this is equal to that, that's equal to that. Tells that this is an equilateral triangle. This particular triangle ECD. This triangle is an equilateral triangle. And you know, the question is saying that calculate the size of the angle marked X. So you want this side. We know that for an equilateral triangle, the angles there are all equal when we're doing the properties. So I can represent here by Y because they are all what? Equal. The angles are all equal. If these are represented by Y plus Y or Y, 3Y, then we know that if I sum them, I'll get 180 because this is the interior angle of a triangle. So I have Y plus Y plus Y equals 180 degrees. Is that okay? Now, after getting this, I know that y plus y is 3y equals 180 degrees. So my y is equals 180 degrees over 3. You divide both sides by 3. So y is equals to 60 degrees. So if you remember, when we were doing the properties and we got to the equilateral triangle, I mentioned that the angles are all 60. So see, when we calculated for, we had 60. So here is 60, 60, 60. Is that okay? Now, we said you should find x. We have not gotten to that place yet. So you want to find it. That's what you are doing. You know, here and here, that's AE and EC are also equal. Meaning that triangle AEC is also what? An isosceles triangle. An isosceles triangle. So if AEC is an isosceles, it means that the base angles are also what? Equal. So let's assume that, let me use B here. If this side is B, then here too will be what? B. Because they are saying that the base angles are equal. Now, how do I get this? I need to get this angle here. So if I can get this angle, then I can work with the B here. So let me represent this side by K. I know that Y and K are on a straight line, and angle on a straight line sum up to what? 180 degrees. So considering Y and K, which is 180 degrees, already we know our Y to be 60 degrees plus K is equals 180 degrees. Is that okay? So taking additive inverse, I have my K to be 180 degrees minus 60 degrees. So what will be our K here? Our K becomes 120 degrees. So we have our K. So this side is our K now. So now through that you can find the value of B, because 1, 2, 3 is also what? Interior angle in a triangle, and we are saying that interior angle of a triangle sum up to what? 180. So I can, let me use black pen, so I can take B plus B plus K equals 180 degrees. I'm quite sure you know the reason why I brought the B and B here. Because this triangle AEC is an isosceles triangle. So it means that the base angles must be what? The same. And now I've worked for the K, which is 120 now. So B plus B is 2B plus K, which is 120, equals 180 degrees. Is that okay? So here can take additive inverse, which is 180 degrees minus 120 degrees. So my 2B will be equals to 60 degrees. So dividing both sides by 2, my B will be what? 30 degrees. Is that okay? So I have my B to be 30 degrees. Now let's look at something. Yet or still we don't have our x, but we want to find the value of x. So looking at this, BKB means that this side is now what? 30 degrees. I know the y is 60 degrees, and this is x. So you can see that this is on a straight line. So x plus b plus y is equals to 180 degrees, because angle on a straight line sum up to what? 180 degrees. So looking at this particular one, my x, you don't know, that's what I'm looking for. The b we had 30, and then y we have 60, equals 180 degrees. So x plus 90, right? 30 plus 60 is 90. equals 180 degrees. So x equals 180 degrees minus 90 degrees. So x is equals to what? 90 degrees. Therefore, the value of x here is 90 degrees. And this is very simple to find. Is that okay? So it's a matter of knowing the properties. It's a matter of knowing the properties. Thank you for watching. Try to, subscribe and share to your friend so that you can grow the YouTube together.